There's so much dating advice online, but so little of it is actually tailored for Christian dating. So in today's video, I want to share with you 9 Christian dating tips that will guarantee you get a second date. My name's Jack Peach, head coach at Dynastic Dating, and I welcome you to this video. The first Christian dating tip I want to share with you today is so simple but so important and so effective. And it's smiling. So much dating advice online today is just plain wrong. And one thing you always hear guys say is to be more masculine, to be more detached, and that's going to build attraction. Now, there is a certain amount of truth to that, and obviously you don't want to be over-ingratiating the first time you meet a woman, but a smile brings warmth, it brings connection, and it shows that you're not one of these caricatures. You have a bit more depth to you, and you actually enjoy life. And it's amazing how important that is, and how few men actually demonstrate that on first dates. The second Christian dating tip is very simple as well. It's to make eye contact. Now, I'm sure you've heard the phrase that eyes are the windows to the soul, and there's never been anything more true than this. Because when we make eye contact and when we hold eye contact, it allows us to see through and into someone. It shows that we have comfort with the way that we feel, and it allows us to connect with her emotions. When you're not making eye contact, you actually come across as someone who's uncomfortable with themselves, who's uncomfortable with the way they feel, and that signals insecurity. So when you can use eye contact in the right way and build it at the right times, it's going to build a level of intimacy that you're not otherwise going to have. The third Christian dating tip that I'm going to share with you today is to be relatable. Now, a theme you'll notice here is that a lot of what I'm saying runs counter to what most dating gurus teach. There's a very specific reason for that. It's because most of them don't know what they're talking about. Or at the very least, they're just trying to help get their clients laid. What we're trying to do is to build an authentic, lasting connection that can flourish into marriage. And something like that has a much deeper set of skills required and requires a different approach. And sharing a relatable story can be so important because we like people who are like us. So when she relates to us, she's going to like you more. I always remember one of my clients sharing a story of when he was on a date and somehow they got onto the discussion of her pet dog dying. Now, this might sound like a very morbid first date and something that's not really going to build attraction, but he then related to her by telling a story of when his guinea pig died when he was a kid. Now, this happened when he was a kid, but by relating to her experience and showing that he empathized with her position, it actually grew them closer and built a level of intimacy which wasn't present previous to they talked about this. And they actually went on to date for about 3 months, although it didn't work out in the end. And this is so important as a Christian to be able to relate to the person you're dating. It's not about creating a divisive mindset of men versus women. It's about creating a team environment of us as a couple. The fourth Christian dating tip that I want to share that will guarantee you get a second date is to nestle in and show her something on your phone. Now, physical touch is an important form of communication, and particularly an important form of intimate communication. But as a Christian, we don't want to overstep the line and go too far. But at the same time, we don't want to ignore this really key type of communication. So a very low risk, in alignment way of bringing physical touch is to show her something on your phone, but instead of kind of showing it across the table, you can nestle in next to her, lean your arm against her arm, your leg against her leg, and then show it to her. And that will create a level of intimacy that you will not be able to do without using physical touch. Again, I have a story of another client who did just this on a date. He used this exact technique that I just shared with you, and he said that before that, the date was at a crossroads. He'd built intimacy, but he felt like it was beginning to drift away, but by getting up, taking this step, and sitting next to her and showing her something on his phone, he actually built that intimacy, and they're actually going to be getting married this month with that exact woman. And if he hadn't have done this, that might not have happened. The fifth Christian dating tip that I want to share with you today is to pit yourselves against the world. I mentioned this earlier, but a relationship is a team. And when you're on a first date, if you can create that feeling of it's me and you against the world, she's going to start visualizing you guys together as a couple. This is such a great way to build intimacy in a very low risk way that you should not ignore it. The one way you can do this is by almost pitting yourselves as a couple against another couple dating within the same venue. You could say, man, look at us, we're having so much fun compared to them. Oh, it's a little bit awkward over there. You can tell it's a first date and I don't think they're gonna have a second. Believe me, an us versus them mindset is so powerful for building intimacy. Number 6 is a key one for all Christians, which is to make her feel that you're interested in her. We like people who like us. And by showing an interest in someone, we're validating them. And when we validate them, they then reciprocate that back to us and they like us more. This also shows that you're respecting her as an individual, you're trying to find out about her and trying to get to know her better and seeing her as a woman, not as just a gal that I'm dating. As a Christian, you must always respect the people you're on a date with, and this is how you respect them. You treat them as an individual, you take an interest in them, and in turn, you will build more intimacy too. The 7th dating tip I want to share with you today is to imagine yourselves doing things together. You want to put images in her mind of you guys doing things as a couple in the future. Again, she's going to start seeing you as a team. This can be fun, kind of fantastical situations of you guys robbing a bank together. Something you're never going to do, but creates this fun dynamic. Or it can be future basing a date that you're going to go on next week. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. All you want to get her doing is imagining that you guys are going to spend more time together in the future. 8th Christian dating tip I want to share with you today is to laugh freely. Laughing together bonds people. So when you can make her laugh and when you're laughing, it's going to create that fun vibe and also grow you closer. Again, we don't want to be this caricature red pill masculine guy who never shows his emotions. No, when you're comfortable with yourself, you can express yourself. So when you're expressing yourself, you're more attractive and much more likely to get a second date. And the 9th and final Christian dating tip I want to share with you today is to say whatever is on your mind. The last thing you want to do is to change what you think, what you believe, what you would say because she's a woman. Look, you want the date to be a success. I get that. But when you moderate your behavior just because she's a woman and you want to get a second date, she's going to sense that you're not being authentic and you're not being true to yourself. This decreases attraction, but what's more, it actually means that you're more likely to connect with people that you don't actually connect with at a visceral level. When you're true to yourself and you're authentic, the people you succeed with are the people that you can potentially marry. Always be true to yourself. And if you want more dating tips that can help you find your future wife, don't forget that I've got a free guide that you can download below this video. It'll give you the 3 best ways to meet single Christian women in today's world. And if you want more Christian dating tips, I'm going to share with you another video on my YouTube channel which builds on these principles. But I just want to say thank you very much for listening. I'm Jack Peach from Dynastic Dating, and I'll see you in the next one.